Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Maverick here, ready for Fire Force episode 10. So, I actually thought I would be missing out on this episode since I was out on a trip, but I managed to come back in time, so all will go as scheduled. Now, if any of you guys are actually watching my other series that I've not been uploading for these few days, just don't worry, I'll get there, right? I'll get there. Alrighty, so back to Fire Force here. Well, I've already talked all I want to talk about Tamaki and whatnot, so let's stop just there. I was hoping that even now, since she's integrated kinda sorta into the 8th, they would continue to develop her character a little bit more, but apparently, according to you guys, that's not entirely the case. So I'd say let's just put that aside for now, right? And focus more on the actual plot at hand, which is still, the investigations, right? And personally, I feel like with the events of last episode, they might want to start, looking into the temple, the religion, or whatever it is, right? Because there's definitely some shady stuff going on down there. Potentially officially not officially sanctioned, but potentially unofficially sanctioned by them, or it could just be rogue elements. That could also be possible, but in any case, it warrants an investigation, right? Or they could probably go with the second company and just go on one by one, right? Or since the pacing of this anime has been all wacky so far, it's entirely possible this episode is going to be featuring a little bit of downtime, right? And we see the daily lives of the 8th once Tamaki has integrated into them. So, let's just find out together right now. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Choke. Oh. The temple. The imperial throne. Well, that's right? They did turn into an empire. A Tokyo empire. Okay. Must so bring give Shinra a race. Okay. I'm guessing it's the princess? Yep. Alright. You're the captain, dude! Why don't you do something about it? Oh, hey, yeah, you're back. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's not Electra this time. Actually, I think I might have said it. Wait, Harper. What are these for doing? Of course. Like I said, we might be seeing some downtime around here. But it's fun, right? It's fun. Alright, let me skip this real quick. And back. Hmm. They really make a big deal out of all these companies having their own autonomy. Right. But these guys, like, they just scream religious figures, right? So I do wonder if they're a certain sect within the temple or the religion or whatnot. And more to the point, I wasn't able to really look that closely at the very beginning. I'll probably look at again later, but I do wonder if the emperor here is also sort of like the head of the church, something similar to medieval England or something, where the king of England is not only the head of state but also the head of church as well. And then there we might get this sort of conflict with more religious types wanting to take back control or something like that. The kanji there actually just said very long term. I'm not really sure if that. Well, I guess it's like perpetual. Hmm. Latum. Okay. Plague doctors. So this is also probably one of the captains. Oh yeah, we'll get to meet all the captains, right? There we go. Company 1. Gustav Honda. Looks military? Giovanni, alright. Not really sure. Kayoko. Hmm. Benimaru. Alright. The strongest fighter soldier? Hmm. They seem sort of like Ronin inspired. Or, samurai Ronin. Okay. Oh. Raffles the Third. Raffles the Third. The chief. Okay. So the head of the church is also the head of state. Proto National. Okay. Definitely Ronin inspired. Oh, it didn't stop. And I guess they can't do anything about it because they're... Oh, hey! He's literally using an AirPod. Alright. You guys might mind explaining what it is? Good question, Shinra. It's powered by that? Right. So is that like a perpetual fire or something? Like who... What is providing the energy for that? Hmm. So is this actually a benevolent empire? Emperor? Doesn't seem like too bad of a guy to me. I'm really curious how this power plant operates. Boo. Nice whistle there. You know, I don't think that the Joker is working with the Evangelist, right? Like, maybe occasionally working together, but I don't know. I just feel like they seem to have maybe different goals or something? What? See? Like, Commander of the Knights of... Oh. Okay. Bye. certainly quite the character here. Hmm. So yeah, if anything, they seem to be like, I don't know, maybe a neutral third party or mercenaries or whatnot. Like, I don't quite get the Joker's, and also the guy that was working with the Joker, like their relationship with the Evangelist, and I guess they call themselves the White Clads now. Hmm. Right?
特殊消防隊は電動車を追うことになった。まずは今までの火事の資料から手がかりを探してみよう。ここにあるのはほんの一部だ。些細なものでも白装束にまつわる情報を見つけろ。電動車と白装束たちは何らかの目的で人工的に人体発火を起こしている。
They need some big data analysis experts here. Doing it the old-fashioned way, the analog way. And I wonder if they actually are collaborating with each other, the different fire companies, I mean. Otherwise, if it's every company for itself, it's kind of very inefficient. I guess this guy can't really use his brains, right? Well,
少し休憩しましょうか。あと一息でアーサー死ぬんです。続けましょう。シスターも家事遺族の慰問から戻ってくる頃ですし、女性陣でご飯を作りましょうか。やります。いいですか、中隊長。お前らがか。不安だな。失礼な。大丈夫ですよ。マキさんの手料理。これは。マキさん。
the f- I have no word. Like, how do you even? Oh my god. How do you even get into that kind of situation? Like, who exactly is your lucky lecture ability used on? Hmm. I guess mano a mano time.
俺に言いづらいなら大隊長を頼ればいい。俺はこの第八を気に入っている。お前ら新入りたちも俺たち第八を信頼してもらいたい。ひなわ中隊長。俺も第八のこと大好きですし、オービ大隊長もひなわ中隊長も信頼してます。ありがとうございます。そうか。
It seemed that he found something, right?
できましたよ。食堂に来てください。
What exactly has Offer contributed so far? Huh? He looks like he's holding up fairly well. If anything, he's probably more rattled by the Joker than anything. Wow. That is certainly a lot of beer. Right. Oh.
唐突ですが、自分も言っておきたいことがあります。実は伝えたジョーカーに会ったこと、弟のショーのこと、第八の仲間なら大丈夫だって、そう思ったんだ。なるほど。だがジョーカーが言ったことだろう。信用できるのか。俺だって今さら信じられない。だったらシンラ、お前は弟が生きていると信じたいのか、信じたくないのか。信じたいです。だよな。
Aw. One big happy family.
伝道者を追う任務は変わらないが、シンラの弟がいることを前提として策を立てるぞ。ありがとうございます。
Aha. Alright, you guys have an official name? Okay. That would be Show, right? Alright. Interesting episode. I'll see you guys in a second. Alrighty, so we actually learned a lot of stuff for this episode. Lots of new characters and lots of interesting, stuff as well in regards to Shinra's brother, Sho. We got to see a little bit more of those. I guess apparently they're being called the White Clads right now. And we see all the different captains of the different companies, right? So a little bit closer to understanding the entire situation. Now, one thing that really caught my attention, and which I'm going to probably spend most of my discussion time talking about, is actually in something, I actually haven't seen before. It's quite unique to this, and it is the concept of the characters' names. Right, because normally you wouldn't really think to notice this too much in terms of looking at a series, right? The names are names, right? Some series have names which are ridiculously hard to pronounce, and some don't. But rarely does it actually provide a clue in regards to the entire situation. That all changed in this episode here, and specifically between the confrontation or I guess the sort of. Yeah, I guess you could say confrontation between the captain of the 7th, Benimaru, as well as the captain of the 2nd, right? Gustav Honda or Honda Gustav, whichever way you want to look at it. And that's the thing, right? That is important. So, in order to start explaining this, I guess I need to preface this a little bit, right? So if you guys do have an understanding of Japanese language and Japanese names already, bear with me for a little bit, right? So anyways, in Japanese, you typically, the names, when you name someone, you can have one of 3 different things. You can either have the kanji combined with hiragana, which is what most Japanese people use, or in the case of foreigners, you would use katakana to sort of translate their foreign names into something that sounds similar that has a similar pronunciation, except that it's in katakana, so Japanese can read it, right? So there's this kind of difference, and like I said, typically Japanese would have, well, all Japanese would have kanji and hiragana combined names, or maybe pure kanji, but even if they do want to pronounce it or want to specifically explain to you how to pronounce it, they would use hiragana. They would not use katakana. That is reserved for foreign words. In this world, however, if you actually look at it, a lot of these different characters, there's a mix, right? There's people who have pure kanji names, or kanji plus hiragana names, and then there's also characters who use pure katakana names, and then there's those that use both, kanji plus katakana or hiragana plus katakana, right? So it's really intriguing in this sense, because that's not supposed to happen, and indeed, it kind of ties into what this Benimaru character was talking about. So another thing you guys have to know about Japanese names is that the family name is said first and then the given name, right? So unlike something, for instance, in English, John Smith, John is the given name, Smith is the family name. In Japanese, and indeed in lots of Asian, well, I guess not lots, but for instance, in Korean or Chinese as well, your family name comes first and then your given name, right? So for instance, for Gustav Honda, right? That is the sort of westernized way of saying the name. The Gustav is a given name, right? And then Honda is a family name. So saying given name and then family name, that is the more Western way of saying it. If we were to use the traditional Japanese way, however, well, first of all, you wouldn't have a guy whose family name is Honda and his given name is Gustav. But if there was, then the Japanese way of saying it would be Honda Gustav. Right. So, and that is what went into that big argument or kind of situation between these two captains, right? Benimaru was saying, please don't call me Benimaru Shinmon, because that is the Western way of saying a person's name. Instead, if you use the traditional Japanese way, family name first, that would be Shinmon, and then Benimaru, which is the given name. And so, why is this important, right? So, after this confrontation, they were like, okay, this guy is a proto-nationalist. Now, I was thinking, like, what the heck exactly is a proto-nationalist? So, again, the Japanese words that they were using there was genkoku. So, gen means original, which I guess, technically is, the meaning of proto as well. And koku simply means nation. So I guess that's why they decided to translate it into proto-nationalist, right? But what I get from this, genkoku, basically means that this guy is perhaps a citizen, a remnant citizen of the original country, which in this case would probably be Japan, right? So we did understand the history a little bit. They did explain the history to us a little bit in previous episodes. So originally there are lots of nations, and then some, I believe it was because of actually I kind of forgot, was it because of war or famine or something other? But anyways, eventually the old nations fell into ruin, and then in at least in this place, they formed the Tokyo Empire, right? So what I'm getting from this is that Benimaru was probably one actually Japanese. So he was probably from the nation of Japan, and right now, because Japan has been replaced by the Tokyo Empire, so he's kind of not really feeling it, right? He wants to still retain the old ways. And I think even more intriguing for this is that we have to kind of sort of ask ourselves, what happened to Tokyo specifically, that even though, let's say, like, come on, even if Japan suddenly fell into ruin, right? The government of Japan dissolved or something, and then so a new entity that rose up in its place in Tokyo. However, how come there's all these foreigners coming in and using their concept, their customs, and their methods and ways here, right? So, like, even the emperor, for instance, the emperor is Raphael the Third, which is definitely also a foreign name, right? And indeed, we see a lot of foreign names here within. So, the seventh, Benimaru, is definitely giving me a kind of a Joey vibe, right? Like the Joey revolutionaries during the Edo period, where they really, I guess they want to basically kick out all foreign influence, and then regain their nation in a sense, right? Nationalist pride, something like that. So I do wonder if this is going to become actually a bigger plot point for this series. We already know we have these cult people, right? And I think it's safe to say that these cult people aren't exactly the good guys, and they also still worship the soul as well. So it's still foreign influence, but that is still, we know that they're bad, right? Like, let's be honest here. No matter what your reason, you're still killing a lot of innocents and whatnot, right? So they're loco in their own way. The Empire, however, is it actually without fault? Don't know, right? Don't know. Perhaps these revolutionaries who want to take back their country or whatnot, they do have a point, or all I'm saying is that there's probably this underlying subplot as well. Whether or not it actually ties in with the cult, that is another matter. But definitely, this is something that I feel is kind of intriguing and will probably maybe it'll become something big, right? I'm not entirely sure, right? Because I haven't read the manga before. But just as it is right now, it definitely has me kind of thinking, like, how did this come into place? To this kind of situation, right? And knowing that these names are kind of important, and by knowing the names you can know the origins of them, it actually compelled me to go through all the names of the captains again, right? So the first, Leonard Burns, definitely a foreign influence, right? Number two, if we're going by the Honda Gustav Honda, however you want to call it, kind of a mix, right? Honda is definitely a Japanese family name. Gustav is definitely a foreign name. What's happening there? The third company, Giovanni, definitely Western or foreign as well. Number four, Soichiro Agu. This one is also kind of a weird mix of both something that can exist in Japanese, and then something that exists like a foreign katakana influence as well. So not quite sure what's happening there. Hibana, not really sure. Number six is also kind of peculiar. Her name is Kayoko Huang, right? So and the thing here is that the Kayoko, right? Kayoko should be a given name. So we got the original Japanese influence there. The Huang, however, the kanji character for that is actually yellow, right? And typically in Japanese, to pronounce that, you would either call it ki or kiro. And here they're actually using the katakana for Huang, which is actually the Chinese pronunciation of that word. So she has some Chinese roots to her, I'm guessing. I don't know, but definitely intriguing there as well. And then of course we got Shinmon, Benimaru, and then we have the eighth, Aki, yeah, something OV, right? The people from the eighth do seem to be more traditional Japanese focused, if you will, compared to like those from the first and whatnot, who definitely have westernized names. But like I said, I don't really know if this is actually going to be of any significance, but I just thought that it was interesting, and definitely using the names as a sort of plot point or plot device to bring out the conflict between the new and the old, the original and the new empire, the original nation versus the new empire. Definitely something that I haven't really seen before, and so that caught my attention. So don't know, maybe this entire thing is not going to be of importance, and I guess some sort of trivia lesson for you guys. But if it does end up into being something like a major plot point or what, hey, I gotta give the author props. I definitely did not consider using this, that there would be a method of using this kind of naming convention in order to further a plot point, right? So I guess we'll just have to find out later. Oh, by the way, on that note, since we're talking about names, in regards to the power plant, right? So the kanji used there, koen, I believe. I thought that it was kind of weird because to me that meant just a long time, but apparently in Japanese the kanji for that can also be used to signify forever. So perpetual power generator does make sense in that context, right? So yeah, there we go. I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about for this episode. Like, we got, like, we literally just see. I'm assuming that's Show. Like, that should probably be Show, right? Because of his smile. We literally only see them for a while, so not really sure what to make of them yet. I'm definitely still holding that Joker and the guy that's working with Joker is not entirely in cahoots with the evangelist. Perhaps they just feel like, I don't know. Joker seems more someone who likes chaos, right? He just wants to have fun or something. Definitely, definitely living up to his name and similar to the Joker in from Batman, I guess you could say. But anyways. So yeah, there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Do let me know if there's anything that I missed. That also provides a clue or something as well. And yeah, I hope I will see you guys next week as well. Until then, bye bye.